Hi, it's Gina Page from African Ancestry, and we're back for another Science Tuesday. I just asked our Facebook producer, Ty, remind me why we're doing these Science Tuesdays again, and then she reminded me that people have loads of questions about DNA testing for ancestry. You see commercials out there, you hear things through the grapevine, you hear critics and skeptics on YouTube, and then you also hear people that are really excited. But one of the most common things we get is, what are you going to do with my DNA? There are a lot of Black people out there, rightfully so, who are concerned about how their genetic ancestry or genetic information is being used. And so we want to just be transparent and help you really understand the science behind what genetic ancestry tracing is so that you can make an informed decision. And hopefully you'll be like the tens of thousands of people who have taken an African ancestry test to reconnect and understand more about themselves by understanding their connections to Africa. So that's why we're doing this broadcast. We're doing it every Tuesday. So I want to encourage you to, if you have questions, you can send us your questions. You can put them on the screen this time. But if you think of something after we do this, you can send it to Facebook, FB Live at AfricanAncestry.com. You can shoot us that email and give us your questions. So today, I thought that we would talk about who should take the test. As you know, if you've been following us for the past several weeks, we have two tests. One test traces maternal ancestry, mother to mother to mother on back, and the other test traces paternal ancestry, father to father to father on back. Let's talk about the maternal test. That test can be taken by anybody. It uses DNA that we inherit from our mothers, and any man, woman, girl, boy can take that test. The patriclan test that traces paternal ancestry can only be taken by a man because it uses the Y chromosome, which is what makes you awesome men males. And so women, we can't take that test. When we want to know our paternal ancestry, we need a father, a brother, a grandfather, an uncle, a male cousin on our father's side to take the test for us. But there are some kind of more complex circumstances that I wanted to talk about today that raises some questions about who can take the test and what kind of information you'll get. So the first one is, what if you're adopted? So if you're a woman and you're adopted, you can take the matriclan test, and we will tell you the ancestry of your mother's 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 line going back 500 to 2,000 years. You don't need to know anything about your birth mother. You don't have to have any family information at all. The good news is that you inherited DNA from your mother that can help us to answer the question, where are you from? Now, if you want to trace your paternal ancestry, that's going to be more difficult. Unless you have a biological brother who could take the test for you, if you don't know anything about your father's family, then you won't be able to get that information. Now, that holds true even if you're not adopted, because we get a lot of women who take the test who ask us, well, how can I get my father's line? I don't have any brothers. I don't know my father's family. In those cases, unfortunately, there really isn't anything you can do, but you can explore your mother's line in more depth. So if you know your mother's side of the family, then you could get your mother's brother to take the test and look at your grandfather's line on that side. There are lots of options. Okay, so that's one group, people who are adopted. Test takers with different parents. That's one, because we talk about this technology in sort of broad strokes and sort of rules of thumb. But we have blended families. We have all kinds of unique situations in our families. And so you can only share results with people that you share a biological parent with. So if you are a woman and you want to trace your paternal line and you have a brother, but he's only a half brother, you can use him if you guys have the same biological father. But you can't use him if you don't, because you need somebody who is a direct descendant of your father's paternal line. I hope I didn't just make that more confusing, but just keep in mind that if you have different parents, you're not going to be able to use that sibling for those results. So we talked about adopted test takers. We talked about women who don't know their father's side of the family. What if you're the last person on a family line? So what if the line of the family ends with you? So again, if you're a woman, then all you're going to be able to get is that maternal line. If you are a man, then you have the opportunity to trace your paternal line. But, this is also a good time to do some genealogy research, because it could be that you have people in the family and you just haven't met them yet. So this is an instance where if you're looking to trace a certain line of your tree and you can't identify anyone in the family close to you who can take that test for you, you could start to do some family tree research, and maybe you can find your grandfather's brother's son or his son or his son. You can go back in the family tree and look for options. We have a great team here at AfricanAncestry.com, and you can certainly call us at any time to get help with the answers to your questions. I'm going to put our phone number up. It's area code 202-723-0900. And so you can feel free to talk to any one of our outstanding team members who hopefully you met last week when we did the community, or not the community, but the team show for Black Music Month. Here's Peter. Oh, nice, Peter. I hope you will take the test. We'd love to help you find out what your ancestry is. That would be cool, and congratulations on your 1-year-old. I'm sure she's adorable. So anybody on our team can help you figure out who should take the test. Now, when you get your results from African Ancestry, we give you a booklet that helps you to understand your results. And one of the things that those booklets help you to understand is how confident we are in your score. So in your result. So someone may get a result that says you share ancestry with the Fulani people living in Nigeria today. If that's the case, you'd be my cousin. But let's say we say your sequence similarity score is 100%. That means that we are 100% confident in the call that we made of Fulani from Nigeria. That means that every letter in your sequence, every marker in your sequence matched identically, 100%. Markers or letters and sequences from people who are Fulani people living in Nigeria today. Doesn't mean you're 100% Nigerian. It just means that on your maternal or paternal line, whichever one you traced, we found a 100% match. 85% of our matches are identical. And that's because we have the largest database of indigenous African lineages in the world. And so Akeem just asked a question, I just did 23andMe. How is this different? Well, it's very different. First of all, 23andMe looked at your entire genetic family tree on a macro level and then gave you percentages of ancestry. They also gave you health-related information. Our test doesn't look at your entire genetic family tree at a macro level. We look at one branch of your family tree at a micro level and get very specific about the present day country and ethnic group in Africa that one branch of your tree shares ancestry with. So 23andMe answered a question of how much different ancestries do I have and what are my health and wellness traits. African Ancestry's test will answer the question, who am I? Where am I from? That's how we're different. So the sequence similarity score is one thing that's very different than what other companies give you. We tell you how confident we are in your result. And we don't call any result if it's not at least 98.6% the same, 98.6% the same. So if we don't find matches that are high A's for you, then we don't find a match. Great, Akim. I hope that you will take our test. And the other thing that's different about African Ancestry and 23andMe is that the results you got from 23andMe, you only will be able to share with your siblings. But the results that you get from African Ancestry, if it's a maternal test, you'll be able to share with everyone in your family on your maternal line. So everyone in the family who descends from your great-grandmother, your grandmother, all of you will share those results. On your father's side, everyone in the family who comes from your great-grandfather, your grandfather, everyone will share those results. So this really is a family project. As one of our team members likes to say, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So your future generations will come into the world with a much stronger sense of identity than a 23andMe test would give them. So I wanted to talk to you about how to understand your results. And so again, when you get a sequence similarity score from us, we're not saying that you are 100% anything. We're saying that we found identical matches. Bless you. We found identical matches with your sequence and whatever group that we matched you to. We are having a Father's Day special. Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and so I want to encourage you all to consider getting the Patriarch in your family an African Ancestry test kit. The Patriclan tests are on sale for $275. If some of group of siblings pitches in, gets a kit for the dad or the grandfather, you'll all know your ancestry in just about 6 to 8 weeks. So I want to remind you of that. And there's a further discount if you purchase more than one kit. I told you about this. Please send us your questions. So if you have any questions that you want us to cover next Tuesday, go ahead and send those to fblive@africanancestry.com. I'll put it in here. I guess this is why people have administrators. I can type fast. fblive@africanancestry.com to get your questions answered on Facebook Live in real time. And then tomorrow, we are going to celebrate Black Music Month, and we have a very special guest who is a dear friend of African Ancestry, the drummer Will Calhoun of Living Color fame. If you all tuned into African Ancestry Radio last October, you heard him talk with us for the hour about the African influence on African American music. So he graciously agreed to come back and talk to us on Facebook Live about Black Music Month. He's going to give us his top 5 songs for Black Music Month, so you'll want to tune in and see what Will Calhoun has in mind for Black Music Month. Okay, so Veronica is asking, what did the test say where my ancestors came from? Oh, so I share ancestry on my maternal line with the Fulani people living in Nigeria today. And on my paternal line, and again, I couldn't take that test because I'm not a man. My father took it, and we have Hausa ancestry, again, from people living in Nigeria. So I've got Nigerian roots on 2 lineages, 2 branches of my family tree, and I'm very proud of that. So that's what we have for Science Tuesday. If you go to our website, you'll see that we have an Ask Dr. Kittles series, and it's a video series of several of the most commonly asked questions. So I encourage you to just go to our homepage and scroll down to Ask Dr. Kittles, and you can get a lot more in-depth information. And you can hear it from the scientific director himself. Dr. Kittles is my co-founder and scientific director of AfricanAncestry.com. So I want to thank you for your time. Max. Oh, we love you back, Max. And hopefully you will be able to do this very important test next year. I appreciate that shout out. And don't forget, Max, if you have brothers and sisters or cousins, aunts, uncles, you can ask them to chip in, because this is a family project. And so if you get them to chip in, then that maybe you can get the test sooner than next year. We really would love for you to become an African Ancestry family member this year. So stay tuned. Again, we have a Father's Day discount, and we'll have other promotions throughout the year. You know what? I wanted to offer a gift. I forgot about that. So we put these flags up because we have to do this particular type of Facebook Live from the desktop, not from the couch. And so the first person who can tell us what country this flag represents, or what region this flag represents, the one with the gold stars, we'll send you an African Ancestry gift. So yeah, put it in the comments where you think it's from, and the first person to get it right will send you a gift. I hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to visit with us tomorrow at 2 p.m. When we talk to two-time Grammy Award-winning Toma, you got it, Europe. Two-time Grammy Award-winning artist, Will Calhoun. Take care.